Welcome to Real People, Real Matters. This is Diana Tolchinsky with my first guest, Shirley Tracey. Shirley, please tell me where you grew up in Illinois.
I was raised on the north side of Chicago, first 11 years in Albany Park, and then I moved to West Rogers Park.
Interesting. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Mather. I knew a lot of people that went there. Now that I've gotten older and stuff, I went to Mather.
Please tell me, did your family encourage you to go to physical fitness, public debate, public speaking?
Yeah, that's interesting. I thought about that, and in some ways yes, in some ways no. Being a kid of the 60s, I was a latchkey kid. I was the youngest of four. My parents probably figured that my sisters and brother would raise me. But I was lucky enough to live across the street from a park. So my parents, while they had a beauty salon, were very, not home that much. We were able to take tap and tumbling at the Park District. We took arts and crafts, and we took drama. So we did get to go out and do those things. And my mom always exercised. Whenever we had anything that we didn't have school, she would take off work and take me to the health club, which we call the gym now. And I remember going on all the machines and just doing that just so I can get to the pool. And I didn't like any of the strength training machines at all. To me, it was all swimming. And when I grew up, my mom said, pick an activity you like. And I chose swimming. I swam for 30 years.
Nice. Were you involved in like varsity sports in Mather?
I didn't know sports at all. I was a hall guard, a hall monitor. I helped out in the attendance office. I wasn't real crazy about school. I was super, super shy. I had moved to that neighborhood in 7th grade, and in Albany Park, we were skateboarding and climbing trees. All of a sudden in West Rogers Park, it was all about boys. And it was a big shock to me, and I was super, super shy. I didn't like being in that big room with people that I didn't know, so it was uncomfortable for me. I never felt good enough to be in sports. I just wanted to go to school and come home, or go to work.
Oh, sorry. How did you overcome your shyness when you were young?
That's a good question. I think Toastmasters really helped. I think getting older helped. I used to go to these parties, and I was so shy, I didn't want them to see that I was shy. I didn't want to be the wallflower, because then they'd be saying, oh, look at that person there just sitting over there, So I would move around the room and say, hi, my name is Shirley. My brother they knew my brother, so I would introduce as my brother's sister, talk for about 5 minutes, and then go to another place. And that was just, for me, people say, well, you can't be shy with that. But like I said, I was so shy, I didn't want people to see how shy I was. And I didn't want to be rude going to a party and just being in one corner. I didn't think that was right. As I got older, as you get older and menopause is over, you kind of realize, who cares if they don't like my hair? Who cares if they don't like what I do? I thought yesterday it hit me. I haven't worn makeup since my son's wedding in September 2015. And I never really did. It's something that I never noticed. And yesterday I thought, oh no, do I have to wear it today? I don't have any. I threw it out not too long ago. I thought I'm never going to wear it. And they say you shouldn't wear it if that old. So I never had a problem with how I looked, though. I always had to be comfortable. I never was able to wear heels. They just were uncomfortable to me.
How is like public speech and like reading literacy helped you in life or helped your kids in life?
As a court reporting student, we learned we learned to type out words phonetically. It was about close to an hour. We'd leave at 7 for me to get to work at 8 because there was a train in the way. I taught my kids everything about reading and writing. My oldest son, we used to play Bing Bang Buzz. We'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. Bing for 5, 6 for bang. He was 5 years old, or 4 years old when we were doing that. My younger son liked to draw, so I always had paper, composition books for him. And he'd ask me, how do you spell deer? He started writing letters to his friends. How do you write deer? And I wouldn't give him the answer, well, figure it out. What's you know. So deer was DER for a very long time. but he did write a letter to his kindergarten teacher.
Oh, nice.
So while I was learning, the thing with the court reporting that was really good is my kids really learned how to think and read and do things. They were definitely ready for kindergarten, probably first grade until kindergarten. So that's, we just always read, and I always helped out at school with the reading programs and stuff. I loved the library when I was a kid. I would go there and, okay, I'm just going to read a little bit. And
Nice.
then I'd say, I got to go home. It's 5:30 already. I have to go home. And
I fell in love with the passion of reading too.
yeah.
When did you go to court reporting school?
Why or when?
Or tell me the story.
I used to work at Jewel in the bakery, and I was there for 13 years. I got tired of it, and I had a girlfriend that was in law, and she said, Shirley, you should go to court reporting school. Then you could work with me, when I go to court and stuff. And I thought, what have I got to lose? I had to talk to my husband about it. But that's when I started it, just for something new. I had absolutely no clue what I was doing, but I needed a change. And so that's what I did. It took a long time, and I struggled with it. One of my teachers said that it was mostly, this is going to sound bad, but the smart people have a harder time. So it made me feel good, but it still made me feel bad because I was failing it with a 97% in the class.
Yeah.
We had to have, up until 200 words a minute, we had to have 98% correct. And that's spelling and grammatical errors.
Yeah.
Commas, I can fail a test on a comma. I learned very well all about colons and commas, apposition, and it was kind of interesting. And again, my kids learned the same. My son's favorite word in first grade, they had to do a long E tree, and most kids like tree and free. He had onomatopoeia, and I was so proud of him.
Oh, nice.
And he knew the definition too, so that was kind of nice.
Do you have any tips for high schoolers trying to get out into like the reading world or court reporting or?
Just do it. I'd say do it right after. If you want to get into court reporting, I would say do it right after high school, while your fingers are nimble. I was 30 when I started.
Oh, nice.
Or 31 when I started. So some people said my fingers weren't there yet. I would say just get out there and do it, and try not to. What my mistake was you would say a word and I would say it in my head before I wrote it.
Okay.
So if they're talking at 200 words a minute and you're saying it in your head, you're going at 400 words a minute. So if you could just relax and get the words down, that's the best way to do it.
And when did you become a Toastmasters?
I became a Toastmaster in September of 2014.
Please tell me where Toastmasters meets.
The North Suburban Toastmasters were a club from 1948. We meet at the Glenview Library on the first and third Thursday of each month. Normally, we meet there. Every once in a while, we have a different location. So if you are interested in coming to our club, I would suggest contacting us through the Toastmasters website, and you can do a contact form with us, and we'll tell you where we are meeting. We meet at 6:30 just to talk and network and get to know people. And for some people that come late, I think we give them that 15-minute leeway in our meetings. We try and start at 6:45, and we're hybrid. We do Zoom too. And we leave at about 8:30 is when we leave. It's a fun time that before you're a Toastmaster, you don't realize how much fun Toastmasters could be, because there's a lot of different things that you do there that just make it fun, and table topics and stuff.
How do you like the Glenview resources, like the library and just like the general atmosphere in Glenview?
Oh, they're always really nice there, and every time we need anything, they're always helpful to us. We like having a lectern, and sometimes it's not. There's always someone that'll get it for us or open the door if it's locked. They'll unlock it for us. If we need copies, they have the copy machine, and one of the girls has kids, so they read over there. It's kind of nice. It's a good place for a family if you have someone that you can sit at the library for a while.
They have a great literacy club, and also they talk about civic pride, and they have You know, like for senior events, they have like outreach
wow.
booths and every evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the pictures. Every month they change them,
Oh, the art
and they're local
gallery.
artists that they
Yes.
put all the pictures, and you can buy those pictures, I believe. They put them on the library wall in the hallway so everyone can see them. I like that. I think that's really nice.
Wow. Like, tell me the story of how you got introduced to American Toastmasters.
Yeah, okay. I never heard about Toastmasters until I was 48. A friend of mine that we used to work together when we were kids called out of the blue, and we became friends again. We were good friends back then. And he said he had been a Toastmaster for 30 years. And I said, "What's a Toastmaster? What is that?" And he told me a little bit about it. And I said, "Oh, that's good for you. I have no need for it." And it was the truth. I didn't have a voice. I was definitely uncomfortable giving my opinion to other people because I have a tendency to be blunt and they get their feelings hurt. And not that I mean it, but I don't take 10 words to tell you, "Oh, I don't like your hair today," or something. If my girlfriend once told me, she goes, "Shirley, how does this look on me? I know you're going to tell it to me straight." So I was one of those, but I never had anything to say to the public. But then I found a gym. I found out after almost 30 years of swimming that swimming is really good for almost every part of your body. It's a great way, cardio, it tones you down, but it doesn't help your bones be strong. Your bones need that stress to be strong. So I thought, I better go to the other side of the gym. But I wasn't really happy there. Ultimately, I ended up at a boutique gym in Buffalo Grove. He was just starting, but it was all personal training. And it was amazing. That first day, I just knew it was for me. I didn't know how much it would change my life, but I knew I had to be there. I got home and I saw the price, and I said, "All right, God, you got me here. You got to help me pay for this." And I stayed there for 4 years. I had back pain from when I was 11 until 51 when I went to that gym, and within a few months, that back pain was completely gone. And I think that's what really, really hooked me, because how did he do it? I never took any pills. I couldn't even do a sit-up when I got to him. And he got me strong enough to do weighted sit-ups and just all sorts of things that I never would have done. When I started, he tried to get me to do burpees. I would do 1 or 2 and say, "No, I'm too old, I can't do that." And when I left him 4 years later, I actually joined the 500 burpee club twice.
What is that, the 500
It's when you do 500 burpees in one sitting.
So is personal training a hobby for you, or how did you get into that idea of like not taking pills but exercising?
Oh, my mom is a big one on that. My mom is 95 and doesn't take pills. And she lives alone. She just doesn't drive anymore, so I have to take her. She doesn't hear well, but she doesn't take pills. And I think that's one of the things that keeps her alive. She taught me early on that when you take one pill, it's going to help your symptom, but it's going to hit another part of your body.
Yeah.
That's the problem with American medicine. Anything you take is going to hurt your liver or your kidney or your immune system or cause death, as they say in the commercials.
And drug addiction.
Yeah. So, but they compromise other parts of your body. And so I'd rather not take pills. My doctor took her a few years to get me on high blood pressure medication. I took that for a while. I just quit smoking and I started coughing again. And it was the lisinopril cough. And I thought, well, why would I want that? So she did change it. But luckily with exercise, I used to exercise at night because that's when he was open. Now when my son was getting married, I had stopped him, but I was going other places at night. And then my son was getting married. I thought, I want to be in the best shape for his wedding. And I started going at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, nice.
And within a month, I was off my blood pressure pills. And I haven't been back. So we're talking summer of 2015. Till now, I haven't had high blood pressure.
And how does how do you make a good impression with your body composition, like your gestures, and like your physical fitness level? Like, how did Toastmasters help you achieve everything, plus your certification, make yourself healthy again?
Well, for me, it's more, I joined Toastmasters because exercise changed my life so much. I wanted you to
Yes.
exercise. I wanted the world to exercise.
It was a domino effect.
I
of
wanted
one
to let
after
them
another.
know, I wanted to let people know that you can do it, and you're going to be amazed at yourself. If you can get on a consistency of exercise and just challenge yourself 30 minutes a day, that's all you need. We have some programs that are only 20 minutes that will challenge you, but you just have to show up, and it does crazy things to your body, but the best thing is it changes your mind. It changes the negative into a positive. It changes a lack of confidence to self-confidence, and it doesn't matter how much you weigh. When I joined Toastmasters, I was, flaunting, and I had just finished a burpee club. Well, that was in 2015, I guess. Maybe I did that earlier. But I was in very good shape when I joined Toastmasters. I was also probably about 40 pounds overweight. I had one person say, "You will never train me. You don't have the figure." And I understood what she said, but I bet I could do more burpees than her at the time.
Yes,
So
yes.
it doesn't matter, your weight. In America, everyone has to be like Twiggy.
Yeah.
Although I think it's starting to get a little bit better now. But I never wanted that. I would never be a Twiggy. I just want to feel good. So if I'm overweight and I feel good, then I don't have a problem with that. I just like when my clothes fit. That's the only problem I have when I gain weight is my clothes don't fit.
Interesting.
And-
So, tell me, how does Toastmasters help with ESL and native speakers having a problem with English, for example?
Yeah, that's a good question. From what I'm told, Toastmasters clubs are always in English. Although there are other clubs
There's a
that
French
there's
only
a German
yes.
club. I know
Yes.
someone that was in there, but from what I'm told, it's always English. And so if you're trying to learn English, then it's a great opportunity because the Toastmasters, they don't make fun of you.
No, so you can go in your own
They're
space.
always there to lift you up.
Yeah.
I mean, Toastmasters is such a great organization because there's all these people to help you, and they have the evaluations that help you be a better speaker. What do you want out of Toastmasters? And all it is really a matter of saying yes. I can help here. I've learned so much about Zoom just because I volunteer to help out. It's such a small price for your membership dues for a year, and you get the education, a really great life education. You can, if you say yes, you could be an officer. If you say yes, you can be a contest chair. You can organize a contest. You can organize things within the club. There's contests outside the club that you can help out, so you get to meet other people, and maybe you're networking with someone, and someone needs you for this particular job, and you've been looking for this particular job, and there's so many opportunities to help out at Toastmasters and get some education. I helped out at the Zoom conference, I think it was last year, and I just learned so much about the behind the scenes getting the Zoom right. And I was so proud to be on our team at the conference because there was no glitches at all until the contest. And we didn't do the contest, so we were pretty much patting ourselves on the back. But, and this last conference, I was also helping with Zoom. And I was able to ask questions, well, what about this? What about that? And the person who was into it didn't even know about that. This was our leader that was trying to get everyone to do this, and I said, well, what about this? And oh yeah, we better do this. So I was happy that I had the knowledge and was able to help them, and we had a great conference.
Also, does Toastmaster has the Yodlee, the artificial intelligence? Yodlee, yes.
Yodlee is a new thing on Toastmasters.org, and it is so much fun.
So you speak and then it translates everything? It
translates just about everything. If you're articulate, it'll translate everything you say. It will tell you what your eye contact was, how you were on the screen, if you had any body language. And this is only a small screen, really, but it catches a lot. It catches filler words. If you say, well, if you say that a lot, they will catch that. And it's really cool. They also, Toastmasters also has a thing called table topics. That's an off-the-cuff speaking. If you run into someone really famous and you don't know what to say.
Shocked. Yeah,
It's taking me 9 years, but at some point I'll get it. You can say more off-the-cuff stuff.
Do you ever use Toastmasters in your personal or business life, like conflict resolution or bargaining for like, like even for the entry-level job? Like how does that first impression for like high schoolers or college or even post?
Well, first impressions most people will judge everything on the first impression. And I know for me, if you give me a bad first impression, it's going to take a long time for me to see you in a different way. There are people that have swarmed in there and squirreled their way into my good graces, but it's hard. It's hard when you make a bad impression. And all I could say is if you were going to meet someone and you saw someone like this,
yes,
or someone like
fidgeting and getting nervous,
smiling or something, who would you want to go to?
Yes,
someone who is very closed off and not looking like they're not happy, like they just want to cut off your head or just yell
anxiety
at you or something.
In a first interview or something.
Or someone who looks relaxed and opening and happy to see you. I used to be a server, and my aunt, when I first started waitressing, said, I don't mind if you're busy and you can't get to me, but I mind when you're sitting there talking and I need ketchup. But what she said was just pretend like it's a party and you're the host. You're the hostess. So I always enjoyed waitressing. I always made sure that people got what I wanted. I always wanted to welcome them like I wanted to be welcomed. And if I go to a restaurant and I feel like I'm in the person's way, they're going to get a lesser tip out of me because they're not doing their job. They're not making me feel like I'm so happy you're here.
And what are you doing for Beachbody now? Your physical fitness certification and everything?
Well, I don't have any certifications anymore. After I quit my gym and I went to other places, all I could think of, and I had thought about it for a couple years, I wanted to know how he got my back to stop hurting after 40 years. And I swam and I did things, and it never worked until strength training. I wanted to know how to do that, so I took a course on personal training. It helped me greatly. I felt that I could help myself, which I've done several times on vacation, or just last week I was gardening and something happened, but I was able to fix myself because of my knowledge. I took senior fitness, I took group training, and even nutrition. And when I became a Beachbody coach, I let it go. With being a coach, to me, now we're body partners. But the thing that got me is a year before I became a coach, and I wouldn't have done it without Toastmasters because you really have to get yourself out there and social media, and I was never a big one for that. But I would try a program, and it'd be hard.
Yeah.
So I stopped it.
Yeah.
And then I tried again, and it was still hard, so I stopped. And then I tried a different one, and that was hard. And the thing about our programs is they're meant to be hard. If you can do them on the first try, you need to go higher. You need a harder program.
So motivated you.
What happened was when I became a coach, I was talking to my coach that I never knew until I became a coach. But she said, just follow the program. And if you can't do it, just march. Just press pause. Just do your best. Don't feel like you have to keep up with the cast. The cast is paid to do their work. And you're not. But I wanted to see if I'm going to be a coach, if I'm going to bring people to this company and work out or be a coach with me, I wanted to make sure it worked. So I did a program. It was a lifting program, and I did a program, and there were a lot of things that I just looked at and said, there is no way I can do that. And I would try, and there was no way I could do that. So I watched it. I wasn't a pauser at that time. I just watched the video, and when I caught my breath, or when it came to when that particular exercise was over, I would get back and do it.
What do you think about like bariatric surgery and then those diet pills and Phenotrim? Phenotrim was prescribed to so many of those patients, like those radical diet type of moves with Adderall and all that.
Well, my thoughts are, I know people that have had the surgery, and it's worked some, and it's got some sick. It's been good. I've heard 50-50 where it worked really great and it didn't. I think it's more in your head. To me, when I was 39, I was at my biggest that I had ever been. And I had the great shape when I was in high school, and I thought, you know, when I get older, big deal. But what got me was when I was 39, I buried my best friend. I had no black clothes to wear because I was too big. I didn't know where to buy clothes. And so I joined Weight Watchers because all I could think of is, where am I going to go from here?
Yeah.
And it's a mindset, though. How far do you want to go? How far are you going to let yourself go? And nutrition Weight Watchers taught me how to eat better portions, what was better for me than other things that I didn't know. I love junk food. That's where I was growing up as a latchkey kid. I didn't like real food. I was raised on, ravioli, canned ravioli, Kraft macaroni and cheese.
There's mindset, psychology of like getting rid of the drugs and just naturally focus on self-disciplining yourself.
And you have to tell yourself, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to tell. When I joined Weight Watchers, I had to lose about 50 pounds.
50 pounds, yeah.
And it was actually 46, but rounded to 50, and that's a big thing. But what I did was, if I follow this next year, I'm going to look good. And it took me exactly a year. It took me 46 weeks to lose 46 pounds, and then you have your 6 weeks, and then your lifetime if you stay that. I just followed the plan, and but I was scared that, where am I going to go? I'm only 39. Where am I going to be at 40, 50, 60? My back was hurting, already. But what was I going to do?
Did you lose any family members while you dieted? Like, is that or you gained more friends, or they say there was sometimes with surgery, like it changes your personality sometimes.
Oh, I never thought of that. I think some people,
you're moving and then they're moving in different directions.
Yeah, I think some people get jealous of you, and you lose people for that. And that's if you're losing people because they're jealous of your success, you don't need those people. Yeah. I think a lot of heavier people have the heavy mindset. We both know someone who's really big, who lost a lot of weight.
Yes.
And it was his mindset that he couldn't, I was always a skinny person in a big body as I got older. I never realized how big I was. And I'd see pictures and say, oh my gosh.
Heart disease is in my family.
But when you're always big, you can't see yourself as being thin, and it's a mindset. It definitely is a mindset there. But what was good about Weight Watchers was it took a whole year. If you do something fast, I mean, it took you how many years to get to that weight? It's not going to come off next week. You'll lose 10 pounds on the cabbage soup diet.
Oh, I hate those.
But then you'll start eating again.
It disciplines. It makes sure that your stomach doesn't stretch, and then you're gleamed again more. Yes.
Yeah, that was but you can lose the weight on that, but then you go back to your eating habits, and you have to. The long term is how you get the habit, and how the habit sticks.
Yes.
With Weight Watchers, I had that weight off until I quit smoking 9 years later.
Yes, it's very motivating, body language communication, and especially public speaking and reading. It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shirley.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for having me, and for letting me talk about Toastmasters and my exercise. If anyone ever wants to learn how to exercise, you always start at the beginning, and that's where I started, and I've come a long way. But if you do it regularly, you'll get better, and you'll find so many changes in yourself.
Great. Thank you for watching Real People, Real Matters with Diana Zlochinsky and my guest, Shirley Tracey. Please watch us again.